gosh. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back to another episode of Coach's Corner. This is Sherrod, and hey, we had a question for you. If changing your health was only about information, most people would already be healthy, right? The information is everywhere. People know sugar isn't helping them. They know processed food isn't helping them. They know they should sleep more, move more, and take better care of themselves. Yet, millions of people still struggle. Why is that? Because this is not just an information problem, it's a behavioral problem, right? It's an emotional problem, it's a biological problem, and sometimes it's an addiction problem. So tonight, we're asking a question that makes a lot of people uncomfortable, okay? Are people struggling because they lack discipline, or are they fighting something much bigger? So before we jump in, let me introduce myself. My name is Sherrod Brown. I'm a health coach with CG Health Coaching. My passion is helping people rebuild their health through personal responsibility, practical structure, and sustainable lifestyle. I believe people are capable of more than they think they are, but I also believe we have to be honest, right? We have to be honest about what we're up against, right? We're battling against modern food, modern stress, modern lifestyles, all create challenges that previous generations never had to deal with. So, so that's why I'm excited about this conversation tonight. Um, and please take this. Tonight we're not trying to make this about blame, right? It's about understanding. That's what we want. We want an understanding. It's about ownership, and it's about learning how to win.
Welcome, everyone, to Coach's Corner. My name is Robyn Herron, and I am your carnivorous grandma. I am a certified health coach. I'm KILT certified. And together with my friend over here, my friend, my brother, cousin, Coach Sherrod Brown, we help people to break free from sugar addiction, processed food, inflammation, and the cycle of starting over and over and over again. Coach's Corner is where we come to have an honest conversation about health, healing, food freedom, and what it actually takes to create lasting change. In our first episode, which was 2 weeks ago, we asked a foundational question. What does real health actually look like? So tonight we're moving on to the next question, and that is, why do people struggle so hard to get there? If we know what health looks like, why are we struggling so hard to find it? Because one of the biggest mistakes that we are making is assuming that just because someone keeps failing, they simply don't want it bad enough. And as coaches, that's really rarely what we see. Most people who come to us desperately do want to change. They're tired of feeling sick. They're tired of carrying the excess weight. We know we were, right? Tired of being on medications. We're tired of inflammation and our body parts not working as expected. We're tired of being controlled by food. And so the issue is not usually desire. We really do want to change. The issue is that we're trying to fight a battle that we don't fully understand.
All right. Thank you, Robin, for that introduction, and it's great as normal, as usual. Sorry. One thing that I've learned though is that it's not an issue of being smart, right? Because we're all smart to a degree. Everybody has a degree of smartness. Everybody struggles. It doesn't matter how smart you are. We're all struggling. Successful people struggle, so that's nothing. It has nothing to do with success and all that. Disciplined people even struggle. Okay, so people who lead companies, manage teams, raise families, solve complex problems, still find themselves standing in front of a refrigerator at night making decisions they swore they wouldn't make. Right? We've all been there. I know I've been there many times. Um, and that's because food just isn't just it's not just fuel, right? Um, Food is connected to our habits. Food is connected to our comfort, our reward system, our stress relief, right? I've been there many nights where, you know, I just I just want look, some hot French fries would do me good right now. Or that chocolate chip cookies right now with some milk or some Oreos dipping it in the milk with just and it seemed to, it seemed to take away the problem or the stress that was going on. Food is also connected to our memories, right? These holidays, growing up, the way we, came together around holidays to eat and all these things. So if I don't understand that, we'll just spend time judging ourselves instead of understanding what's really happening. So a lot of people aren't just fighting hunger. We're fighting patterns and patterns that have been put in place for years, right? Right? Like we've been doing this lifestyle for, Robyn, you've been doing it for 3, 4 years now, and I've been doing it for going on a year. And, sometimes I have to tell myself, it's only been a year that I've been eating this way. And the expectation sometimes when we've been it's been 50 years of eating of eating a certain way. And so sometimes even more, right? For some people. So that's why the idea of just try harder, it usually doesn't work for very long.
That's right. That's absolutely right. First of all, I want to say, hey, you guys, let us know where you are watching from down in the comments. We want to see where you're from and say hello. Give us a thumbs up if this is resonating with you. Because as coaches, we see this all the time. People come into coaching carrying so much shame. We have been basically dieting all of our lives. We tried countless diets, lost weight, regained the weight, promised ourselves over and over and over again that this time is going to be different. And so eventually, people, you and me, start believing we are the problem. We start thinking that this is a personality problem, and promise you it's not. In general, most of the people that we work with are not lazy. What they really are is they're overwhelmed and exhausted. Their bodies are inflamed and they're metabolically unstable. And guess what? They're emotionally attached to the very foods that are hurting them, right? So that doesn't remove our responsibility to recognize these challenges, right? But it does help us to explain why change feels so difficult. Because when a person is fighting cravings, poor sleep, chronic stress, blood sugar swings, and emotional eating all at the same time, that's telling them that I mean, when we tell them that you need more willpower, that's not going to be enough, right? It's not going to be enough. What we need is we need understanding. We need clarity on what's actually happening within the body. We need tools and structure and accountability. And so that is what we provide through our coaching. So I want to just touch on the science for just a minute so that we can really kind of level set, right? We talk about this all the time, but we're going to continue to talk about it all the time because it's really, really important that you understand this. Sugar and highly processed foods affect the brain's reward system. So, have you heard about dopamine? Most people have heard of it. But what I want you to understand is that dopamine isn't simply about pleasure. Dopamine is also involved in anticipation. It drives the wanting. Drives that desire. Drives that seeking behavior. It drives that repeating behaviors over and over again. So that's why cravings often begin before food is even eaten. You see the dessert. What happens? Mouth start watering, right? You see the dessert, right? You smell the bakery. You drive past the restaurant, and before you even know it, you're going in because it is about that anticipation. You experience the emotion that normally sends you looking for food. The brain remembers that. These pathways are set up in our brains As Sherrod said, for 50, 60, 70 years, we've been setting these pathways up, right? Our brains remember that comfort, remember the relief, remembers the reward, the routine, and the experience. Cravings can feel extremely powerful, but are not always about hunger. In fact, often not about hunger. It's about the expectation. I'm telling y'all, it's about the addiction. I'm just going to get another hit of this. It's going to be so good this time. It's going to make me feel better this time, right? So, once we think about dopamine, we need to think about the blood sugar problem. That blood sugar enters the conversation as you eat those carbohydrates. Your blood sugar goes up, right? We continue to consume sugar and refined carbohydrates. Our blood glucose rises. Our insulin chases after the blood glucose, right? So it rises. Our energy temporarily rises. And then all of a sudden we have a drop. We get fatigue. We have irritability. We got brain fog and the return of hunger. Hangry, not just hunger, hangry, right? Suddenly the person's looking for that next hit of energy. And for many people, that loop has been running for years, sometimes decades.
And see, this right here is where balance matters, right? Because once people hear about dopamine and addiction, some people want to remove responsibility completely. But before we go any further, let's address something that comes up all the time, right? People ask, can food really be addictive? Hmm. And depending on which expert you ask, they're gonna, uh, you're probably gonna hear different things from different ones and different opinions. Some people don't like the word addiction, right? Others believe it describes exactly what they're experiencing. Here's where I land. I know what people tell me. They tell me they want to stop. They tell me they're tired of feeling this way, right? They're frustrated. They're, tired of trying to always make these decisions. They don't know if this is the right decision or this the wrong decision. Because one day it might be great for you. The next day they're saying it's not good for you. And then you have so many other social media platforms that are, back and forth with it. So they keep finding themselves in the same cycle. Now, whether somebody calls it addiction, dependency, compulsion, habit, none of that, it doesn't change. The struggle is still there, right? So, when a person keeps doing something they desperately want to stop doing, that person needs to understand more than just judgment, right? Because beating yourself up never fixed anybody. I know. I did it for over 20 years. Okay. I did it. Trust me, I did it. Over 20 plus years with a disease, trying to eat better because they say I got to eat better. My doctor was telling me I'll be dead in 10 years. And so I ate how they told me to eat. I did what they told me to do, and it still wasn't working. So, understanding the battle is what helps you to start winning. Now, cravings are real, okay? They're real. The food environment is real, but responsibility is also real too. And you may not be responsible for what the food industry creates, okay? That's not your responsibility. You may not be responsible for the habits you've learned growing up. You may not be responsible for everything that has happened to you in your life. But eventually, you become responsible for your response. And that's where discipline enters this conversation.
Absolutely. And discipline is often misunderstood because many of us think that being disciplined means being hard on ourselves. And I don't really believe that that is what discipline is. Discipline is making a decision and refusing to renegotiate it every day. How many times have we renegotiated with ourselves and we're just going to start over again tomorrow, right? So that's different. We don't want to keep negotiating with ourselves. That's a difference, right? Motivation says, "I feel ready." Hmm. Discipline says, "I've already decided." Motivation is emotional and discipline is structural. Motivation literally comes and goes. Some days you're going to feel like it, some days not. But discipline remains when those feelings change. That's why people who depend entirely on motivation struggle. Eventually, everyone reaches a day where they don't feel motivated. And the question is going to be what happens next?
Exactly. The people who succeed long term are rarely the people who feel motivated every day. Trust me. You ask me, do I feel motivated all the time? No, I don't.
I did not.
They're the people who build structure, right? Structure. You set up a structure that works for yourself. They remove unnecessary decisions. They create routines. They prepare ahead, right? They stop debating with themselves. And then when difficult moments come, they already know that what they're going to do. So that is really right there one of my favorite things is, and this is one of my statements: healing takes compassion, but rebuilding takes responsibility, right? Let me say that one more time because y'all probably didn't hear it. And like we like to say in church, say let's say let church say amen. If
Say it one more
somebody
time.
say amen, say it
Amen.
one more time. Healing takes compassion, but rebuilding takes responsibility. So both of those things matter. Compassion without responsibility is what keeps us stuck, right? Responsibility without compassion often leads to shame. Real transformation requires both of these things.
Absolutely. But I want to talk about one of these things that is so popular, and I believe it's a fallacy. That statement is all things in moderation. All things in moderation. How about a little bit of heroin in moderation? A little bit of crack cocaine in moderation? No. Not all things in moderation. It sounds wise. It sounds balanced. It sounds good. Sounds like a mature thing to say. But as coaches, we have to ask a simple question. Moderation for who and what? Because moderation doesn't work equally well for everyone. For some people, one cookie is one cookie, and you can stop at one cookie. For others, one cookie become an entire weekend. For others, it's a month-long struggle. And for me, I'm going to turn around 2 years later and say, doggone it, I got to start over again. The outcome matters. If every attempt at moderation pulls you back into the same cycle, maybe moderation is not your solution. Maybe honesty is. If one bite consistently turns into 3 days, that is not moderation. That's evidence. We need to be willing to look at the evidence in our own lives. Does moderation create peace? Does it create control? Does it create stability and sustainability? Or does it wake up those cravings, bargaining? I'm going to just do this just one more time. Now, look, that sounds familiar to me. Just one more time. I'm going to just try it one more time. I'm going to bargain with myself. Guilt and starting over. Moderation only works when the food is not controlling you.
Right. That's a hard truth right there. And it's hard to accept it, right? Most people want freedom to eat, um, you know, anything they want. that's some of the biggest
Yeah.
obstacles when I'm talking to people about their health and about, maybe changing a few things. It's like we want to eat what we want to eat and we don't want to think about it. We just want to do it. The real freedom isn't about being able to eat everything. The real freedom is being controlled by anything, right? Um, if sugar controls your decisions, right, your moods, your cravings, and your behavior, then the conversation isn't really about moderation. It's about freedom. And I could tell you from my own journey, freedom feels different than most people think. Freedom isn't waking up every day wishing you could have something, okay? Freedom isn't getting to the point where that thing no longer has power. Freedom, sorry, is getting to the point where that thing no longer has power over you. Where food stops calling the shots, right? Where cravings stop making decisions for you. Where your future becomes more important than your next moment of comfort. That's the kind of freedom we're after, and that's the kind of freedom we're talking about. And it's not about perfection. We're not. It's not about guilt. Nobody's trying to knuckle their way through life here. Freedom, right? The kind where you finally get your life back. That's what we're talking about.
That's exactly right. Absolutely. Food freedom is so profound. I didn't even know it was a thing until I found it. It's incredible.
Yes.
One of the things I think that we see often in coaching is people realizing that they're more emotionally attached to food than they thought. They're not just giving up sugar, they're giving up comfort and their reward system. They're giving up an escape. And how many people recently have told me I would rather be happy than healthy? That sounds crazy to me, but that is what people are saying because it's a reward, right? It feels emotional when you have to give up sugar because those foods, those sugars and carbohydrates, those things are doing a job. They're doing their job. It's not a healthy job, but it's definitely doing a job, right? The healing starts when people begin replacing these old patterns with healthier ways of responding to life. How do we sit with things and learn how to deal with our emotions without eating our emotions or stuffing our emotions? That's where lasting change begins. Not when the craving disappears but it's when the craving no longer gets to make the decision for you.
That's right. So look, at the end of the day, I don't think this conversation really is about food. I think it's about ownership, really. It's about deciding who gets control of your future. And let me hear you. Let me really put this down to you because that was really the ultimate. This year, I said, you know what? I got to think about my future. I can't just think about right now in this moment. I have to think about 5 years from now. I have to think about 20 years from now. One of the things when I was sick, it was, it's, you're sick and you have assistants, you got people helping you. And then, for instance, my wife being my caretaker, when she got sick, I was like, I got to do something because she won't be able to take care of me, and I'm trying to take care of her, and like it just doesn't work like that. So being the age I am right now, 55 this year, woohoo, um,
Woohoo!
it's like I want to live the best rest of my life I can. There are things that used to hinder my decisions, and now that I've broken free from the food addiction, the control of sugar. We'll just say that sugar has no control of my life anymore. Um, that once you break free from that, you can have your future back, and then you can start thinking clearly about what it is I want to do. The things I'm planning on doing things I've never done before. That's my goal, to experience life, really experience life, not just what I see in my neighborhood or my town. Or I want to experience things in this world. Um, so so because everybody eventually reaches a crossroads, and the question becomes, okay, here's a question.
Mm.
Do I keep feeding the habits that are destroying me? You got to start thinking about this. And I'm specifically talking to those of you who are dealing with metabolic syndrome stuff, things of the health like diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, all these different things like that. And they just got you taking pills for it. Let me share this with you. I keep this thought right here. Pills don't heal you, okay? They don't heal you. To me, the only thing that they're doing is allowing you to continue to eat like you eat. They want you to stay on these pills the rest of your life. Do you understand that they're making money off this? So it's an income for somebody else. So they're getting to enjoy vacations, right? While you're sitting at home being sick.
Mm, mm, mm.
Let's flip the script here, right? Let's really flip the script here, and let's really see the value in what we're talking about. Flip the script and take control back of your life so that you can keep that money, keep those things that they're using against us to benefit their lifestyle, and they're enjoying life while and I promise you, most of those folks don't eat the way you think they eat because they do understand that the food industry in itself is a machine, and that they're just making a profit. And so, do I keep feeding the habits that are destroying me, or do I start rebuilding the person I want to become? And rebuilding ain't always easy, y'all, but it is possible. Both of us here are witnesses to that, and we want to show you how to do it. Is it gonna be easy? Sometimes no, it's not gonna be easy, but that doesn't mean that it's not worth putting in the effort to do it, right? It starts one decision at a time. That's all. One decision, one meal, one habit, right? So when you start doing that, and then guess what? One day at a time, right? Right? It's
Mhm.
just that simple. So the good news is you don't have to be perfect in this, and we're not asking you to be perfect because we know how it is. We know the struggle. We know there's no perfect way to do this stuff. There's a right way, and we have found the right way. You just have to keep moving forward. Freedom is possible, and your future is worth fighting for.
It absolutely is. Thank you so much for saying that, Sherrod. You know, when I think about us here on Coach's Corner, a year ago, I would not have imagined us here in this place. But I saw what happened to you when you went carnivore. I saw how within days your life was changed. And so we're here to talk about, these habits. What are we willing to give for to have health, right? Our bodies are fearfully and wonderfully made, designed to heal with we give them the proper fuel. But we're too scared to try it. We're too scared to try because our doctor said, and we're not doctors. I'll just put that in there. We're not doctors. We're not health practitioners. We are health coaches. And we want to let you know that you can heal your body with food. And if your body is not healing with the food that you are eating, then we need to, as Sherrod said, you need to stop feeding those habits that are destroying your body. Because we're seeing so many disease states being corrected, changed, put into remission, things that you would never imagine. Chronic disease that is supposed to be chronic and incurable, we're watching it be corrected and changed and people go into healing, right? And so that's why we're here. We want to make sure that we get this message out. So that's what Coach's Corner is all about. We're both coaches in the CG health coaching practice. And so if you're interested in coming and finding out more about our 90-day on ramp, we say 90 days. And because 90 days is a game changer, you're going to find out what that food is actually doing to your body in 90 days of sugar elimination, right? You're going to find out real faster than I think I saw my brother up in about a week. Less than a week, he was up doing stuff that I had not seen him doing in many years. It's a game changer. It's a true game changer. So we want you to think about that this week. Am I going to just keep on feeding the habits that are destroying me, or am I going to make a change? Am I going to take the courage that it takes to make a drastic change? And yes, it is not easy, but it's simple. It's most probably one of the most simple things that you will ever do. It's very straightforward. Elimination of sugar. I do want to mention that we have a meetup coming up this summer, and we're very excited about it. It's called Impact Meetup and Eat Up with CarnivorousGrama and friends, and I have a commercial that's going to play at the end of this show tonight. It is going to be amazing. September 5th, 2026, and right here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And we are excited because we have just a great lineup coming in for you. Dr. Kiltz is going to be here. Dr. Nelson, Nurse Laura Russell is going to be here. Also, a lot of influencers and literally people coming from all over the world to be a part of Impact. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Are we? Is there gonna be brisket there?
Yes, there will be brisket. There will be
Ribs?
brisket. Ribs.
Ribs?
We'll
Okay.
have we're gonna have brisket, ribs, brats, sausages. We're gonna have hot dogs.
Yes,
We'll have
yes,
boiled eggs.
yes.
We'll have bacon. We will have all of the things, and
I'll
I'm
be there.
super. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna make come and hear Sherrod's story. A very, very profound story of healing. And so lots of influencers are going to be come and meet all your favorite influencers, those people that you've been watching on YouTube. And also, come and see the Healing Humanity documentary. We are so excited that Carrie Mann is going to be here. Adam from Carnivore Today is going to be here, and we will be having a screening of the Healing Humanity documentary. And we're very, very thankful for that opportunity to be able to show this. So, at the end of this, you'll see the commercial, scan that QR code, get your tickets for Impact. It's going to be awesome. Anything else to add, Sherrod?
Awesome. Last year it was awesome. That's all I gotta say. I wish
It
more
was.
people could experience it. Come on out. And this is a one great thing. I've seen some, meetups, and they're pretty expensive. I think for the price that Carnivorous Grandma is putting out there is great. I listen, you don't want to miss it. That's it.
That's right. You do not want to miss it. All right, you guys, thank you for being here tonight with us on Coach's Corner. We're very excited about this new show. Let us know in the comments if you guys have different topics that you want us to touch on. We want to answer your questions that you have about going sugar free. And so, yeah, so we're really excited about this show. I think we're going to be doing about every other week for now, I believe. And so, go
Yes.
ahead, go ahead.
So I also want to say, please, if you can, those that I see you are watching, come on to the YouTube channel. I know some people watching on Facebook. Like it. Please like, subscribe. So, and put your notification bell on. So when we come back, you get a chance to get that video right off the press. We're looking to do
Yeah,
some exciting things this year with the Coaches Corner. And like she said, please leave us some comments. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. We okay. We can take it. We're not the we're not gonna feel offended if if y'all ain't doing a great job. Well, hey, tell us that because hopefully we do get better at it. So hey, but we it's not about what we're trying to do. We're not trying to be perfect as we present this to you. We want to just get this information out because it's important. And there's some people out there who need the support. There's some people out there who need this community. There's some people out there looking for some change. That's what we care about. That's what we want. We're trying to help people here. And we're trying to do it in a
yes,
way it's not expensive. That's what we're trying to do. So
yes.
please, sorry.
Yeah, I'm just going to add on to that because our coaching is very reasonably priced. If you look at some of the coaching that's out there, it's quite costly. And we really want to make it cost effective for you to get that 90 days in. So check us out at cghealthcoach.com and you will see that our coaching, our 90-day on ramp is very reasonably priced. And you can even meet for what is it, a 30-minute session with Coach Brown over here for like 40 bucks. You can't beat that. You cannot beat that. You're going to come out with a plan for how to work it out. There's Charlie, Sherrod. Charlie's in the
Hey,
chat.
Charlie.
Hey,
Hey.
Charlie. So good to see you. Simpson is
Yes.
here. Lady
Oh,
Brown is
that's my
here.
buddy.
Hey, you guys, thank you so
Hey.
much for coming on. We
Hey,
appreciate you.
babe.
Yeah, we're
No.
getting ready to wrap it up, but Coach's Corner is for you and it's for your family, it's for your friends. Tell somebody who doesn't know that sugar is a problem and we need to address it and change our lives. So go ahead and change the game by changing the way you eat. All right,
Yes.
you
Yes.
guys. We'll see y'all next time on Coach's Corner. Bye, everybody.